Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're diving straight into a massive new release that is, honestly, sending shockwaves through the entire AI community. Alibaba just unleashed Qwen3.8, and we're going to break down exactly what this means for you as developers, what it does to our infrastructure, and really, the future of open-weight models. We'll look at the architecture, how you can get your hands on it literally right now, and the prep work you absolutely have to do before those official weights drop. Right off the bat, let's talk scale. 2.4 trillion parameters. I mean, to put that into perspective, that's not just a large model anymore. We're talking about an entirely new galaxy of parameters here. The Qwen team is positioning this as a top-tier frontier model, officially claiming it sits second only to Fable 5 in overall capability. This scale completely redefines what we even consider large in the LLM space. But the thing is, deploying a model of this magnitude, it's not just, downloading some weights and hitting run. It fundamentally changes the physics of how we serve AI. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for the day. First, the 2.4T milestone. Then, preview versus open weight strategies, the infrastructure reality, access and tooling, and finally, a concrete developer action plan. Let's get to it. Section 1, the 2.4T milestone and a new inference regime. So, crossing this 2 trillion parameter threshold, it fundamentally changes the game for production AI. The rules we're all used to with, say, 70 billion or even 400 billion parameter models, they simply do not apply here. Whether Qwen3.8 relies on a dense architecture or some wildly complex mixture of expert setup, the sheer active parameter count dictates your entire deployment strategy. At 2.4T, you are shifting from being compute-bound to being memory-bound. That means your latency isn't about how fast your GPUs can crunch numbers anymore. It's almost entirely a function of your memory throughput and your KV cache management, which is essentially the model's short-term memory, keeping track of the context. If you can't shuttle data in and out of that memory fast enough, your super expensive compute nodes are literally just going to sit there idle. Section 2. Preview versus open weight, real-world validation. Now, you might be wondering, if Alibaba actually has the model, why not just drop the open weights right now for the community to play with? Well, they're making a very deliberate choice here. They are favoring real-world validation over just benchmark marketing. You see, dropping weights immediately usually just leads to this crazy rush for leaderboard scores, but it doesn't actually tell you how the model performs under the grinding pressure of a real production environment. This preview phase gives Alibaba and all of us developers a crucial window to stress test the routing, measure actual latency, and really hammer those tool calling pipelines under actual load. It's all about figuring out how this beast behaves in complex agentic workflows before committing to that final open weight release. Section 3, infrastructure reality and scaling bottlenecks. Because let's be honest for a second, once those weights do drop, a 2.4 trillion parameter model is going to absolutely shatter our standard deployment setups. And what's really interesting here is how time to first token, or TTFT, becomes the critical heartbeat you need to be monitoring right now. Before you even think about local optimization, this preview release gives you a golden opportunity to measure TTFT and sustain throughput using Alibaba's endpoints, because if an agentic workflow takes too long to spit out that first token, the entire user experience collapses, right? Doesn't matter how smart that 2.4T model is. You have to know this baseline right now. And here is exactly why you need that baseline. The open weight roadmap completely flips the long-term infrastructure equation. Once the weights are out there, teams will absolutely have to adopt high-throughput serving engines, things like VLLM, SGLang, or maybe even writing custom kernels. A 2.4T model will 100% demand multi-GPU setups or extreme high-bandwidth memory configurations. The base footprint alone is going to far exceed single-node limits. So you need to start preparing your 4-bit and 8-bit quantization pipelines immediately. Seriously, if you wait until the weights are released to figure out how to serve them efficiently, you are going to be months behind the curve. Okay, Section 4, access and tooling through the Qwen Cloud Token Plan. So how do you actually get your hands on this thing today to start your testing? Well, the official announcement confirmed that Qwen3.8 Max Preview is live right now on Alibaba's Token Plan Qt and Qt Work platforms. And this specific routing, it's very intentional. By pushing preview traffic through Qt and Qt Work, Alibaba is heavily signaling a focus on agentic workflows and multi-turn tool use. They know these are the exact workloads that expose scaling bottlenecks first, so they're effectively crowdsourcing the stress test while giving you direct access to frontier intelligence. To make all this happen, Alibaba also upgraded their token plan pricing, making it surprisingly accessible. Individual plans are available now, and team plans are roughly 40% cheaper, which is great. The Lite plan lets you run 1 to 2 agents concurrently. If you step up to the Standard plan, which seems to be the hot seller, it quadruples your credits and supports 3 to 4 agents. And then the Pro tier gives you 16 times the credits of Lite, supporting up to 8 concurrent agents. It's basically one unified plan that gives you access to their leading text, vision, speech, and image models. But look, raw access is only half the battle, right? It's really about where you can seamlessly use it. The token plan offers some pretty incredible AI toolchain integration. It works straight out of the box with mainstream tools that support OpenAI and Anthropic protocols via OpenClaw. This brilliantly illustrates just how open this ecosystem is getting. You can literally plug Qwen3.8 directly into Q2N code, Cursor, Klein, Claude Code, OpenCode, Codex, and Kilo CLI. You do not have to change your IDE or uproot your entire workflow just to test a 2.4T model. Let's move along and see how this builds, because setting this up is incredibly practical. It's just 5 quick steps. Step 1, install your preferred tool, let's just say Qwen Code. 2, open it up and navigate to Settings. 3, find the Provider section. 4, choose the Qwen Cloud coding plan and sign in with your credentials, which you can just grab from the API keys page on Qwen Cloud. And 5, save your settings. That is literally it. In less than 2 minutes, you can have a 2.4 trillion parameter frontier model actively looking at your codebase and writing code for you. No way around it, that's pretty awesome. Section 5, Developer Action Plan. Let's prepare for open weights. So, with the architecture and limits in mind, what exactly should you be doing today? Here is your action plan. First, you've got to benchmark your latency and throughput under a production-like load. Keep a close eye on your time to first token and token per second rates. Second, audit your infrastructure requirements now. Estimate the GPU memory and VRAM bandwidth you're going to need for multi-node serving. Third, test modern quantitation formats in VLLM and SGLang against the preview API to see how your logic holds up. Fourth, track context window truncation. You want to measure error rates across different prompt templates so you can build some robust fallback logic. And finally, keep an eye on official channels for SDK changes because, early access previews often come with API versioning shifts. If you map out your rate limit handling and error recovery now, you are going to avoid some incredibly costly refactors when the final weights ship. The main takeaway here is this. Alibaba isn't just releasing a model. They are basically charting a course for the next generation of open source infrastructure. So as you start setting up your endpoints and testing the Qwen3.8 Max preview this week, I want to leave you with this thought. As 2.4 trillion parameter open weight models become a reality for anyone with the right hardware, how will this inevitably shift the balance of power away from the massive, closed API ecosystems we all rely on today? It is a truly fascinating turning point for developers. Thank you so much for diving into this explainer with me. And hey, happy building.